Live from John Ryan Stadium in Metairie, it's the semifinals of the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League. This evening, our second semifinal contest will pit the River Ridge Patriots, based at John Curtis Christian School, against Jesuit-based Retif Oil. And a pleasant good evening to you, Ken Trahan, joined by Lenny Van Gilder and Marty Luquette for Game 2 of our semifinals of Year 4 of the Crescent City Prep Summer League. Game 1 went to K's for Kids, based at Brother Martin, 9-2 over Archbishop Rommel-based Malcolm Martinez. Now in Game 2, another pair of quote-unquote Catholic League rivals will square off as Jesuit and John Curtis renew their rivalry. John Curtis, based at River Ridge, 9-2 on the season, and Retif Oil, based at Jesuit, 11-1 on the season. Joined by Lenny and Marty, as I mentioned, and these are, of course, a couple of programs of note that have had great success over the years. Jesuit, 22 state titles. John Curtis, winners of 9, two of the winningest programs in the history of high school sports in this state. Of course, Kenny Goodland in his 8th year as head coach at Jesuit. Jeff Curtis in his 10th year at John Curtis. Enough said, Lenny. This is a typical Catholic League rivalry. They've been going at it very strong now since John Curtis joined this league in 2015.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you know what you're going to get out of both of these teams. You know, John Curtis teams are always going to be, very hard-nosed. Look, obviously it's a school that's had great football success. They almost come into this with a little bit of a football mentality. They'll small ball you some, but it's hard-nosed, and every out and every pitch got to be earned when you face a team like that. And then when you face a Jesuit team, they're going to be fundamentally sound. They're going to pitch very well. They're going to play defense. They're going to do all the right things, and they play to this big ballpark as well. So you know what you're going to get when you see those guys in blue and those guys in blue, just slightly different shades of blue, one with a little bit of red mixed in, come out on the dugout.
Each team in the playoffs of the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League for the 3rd time in 4 seasons. And Retif Oil won the very first title back in 2022. And the River Ridge Patriots have twice made it to the championship game but fallen short. Marty, these are, of course, 2 really good programs and 2 coaches that know how to do this and have been doing it for a long time.
Hey, don't fool yourself. These are heavyweights, baby. These are guys that get after it. They know what their teams are capable of doing, and they love to compete. And they're competing against each other tonight with a chance to play for the championship tomorrow against K's for Kids. And, hey, don't fool yourself. This is important to them. It's important to the program, but it's more important to the kids, the players themselves, as they get ready.
We found that over 4 years of this. You could do one thing in the regular season, and maybe you're mixing and matching guys and getting guys at bats, and you're, on down the line. But when it comes down to this, I think the intensity picks up a little bit. You've played all summer. You got 1 or 2 more games left, and you want to win these games. So,
you're used to winning. You know how to win.
Yeah,
you're used
right.
to winning, and it's fun when you match them up. And the styles are different of these 2 teams, which makes it even more enjoyable. But the one thing you know about Jesuit is that they're not going to beat themselves. The one thing you know about Curtis is they're never going to give up. They're going to keep banging away, and they're going to keep after you, and they're going to put pressure on you, and that's what Jeff Curtis does, and that's just his style, and Kenny Goodlet's going to be under control at all times. His team is going to reflect him, and they're going to play in his image, and that's what makes these games so interesting, so much fun.
Again, these 2 teams met in the championship game of Year 1 of our league, and it was a great game.
Yeah, absolutely.
9 innings, and Retif Oil emerged victorious 8-7 in a thriller. And if you ever wanted to see 2 teams that wanted to win badly, all you had to do was be here that night. And again, that's the nature of these programs. It may be summer league, it may be development, but it means a lot to these teams, and they want to win this very badly. And the coaches meeting at home plate to exchange lineups, so we'll pass them along to you. First of all, for the River Ridge Patriots, 9-2 under the direction of Jeff Curtis. Leading off in center field, Nate Hilario. Connor Mishu, the shortstop, hits second. It's Luke Martinez at third base. The cleanup hitter and catcher is Jeffrey Curtis. Batting fifth and pitching, Colston Martinez. Hitting sixth, the right fielder, Keegan Linton. Batting 7th in left field is Paul Dufresne. Hitting 8th at first base, Sean Goodwin. Batting 9th. And playing second base, Jace Gonzalez. Top 3, Hilario, Michoud, Luke Martinez. Middle 3, Curtis, Colston, Martinez, and Lynchon. Bottom 3, Dufresne, Goodwin, and Gonzalez. For Retif Oil, 11-1 under the direction of Kenny Goodlett. Leading off in left field is Griffin Gendron. Batting second in center field is Michael Brothers. Hitting third, the DH, Joe Bosco. Cleanup hitter first baseman, Logan Nelson. Batting fifth at shortstop, Marshall Sirio. Gavin Palmisano is the right fielder, hitting sixth. Batting seventh at second base will be Derek Delat. Hitting eighth, the catcher, Austin Guidry. And batting ninth at third base is Jackson Dugan. And the pitcher will be the right-hander Mace Martin. Top 3, Gendron, Brothers, and Bosco. Middle 3, Nelson, Sirio, and Palmisano. In the bottom 3, Delat, Guidry, and Dugan. Martin takes to the mound. Defensively, it's Gendron in left, Brothers in center, Palmisano in right. Dugan at third. The shortstop is Sirio. Delat at second, and Nelson at first with Guidry catching. Mace Martin, excellent during the prep season, has been terrific during the summer. Takes to the mound. 4 appearances for Martin, and he is 3-0 with an 0.44 earned run average on the summer. 16 innings pitched. He's allowed just 1 earned run, 11 hits. He's walked 5, struck out 15.
Welcome to Alumni
Mace Martin is good. Really good command. Seen him a few times this year. Very solid pitcher. He's going to make you beat him. Typically throws strikes. You don't have to worry about that with Mace Martin. He will be around the plate consistently, and he takes his warm-up tosses. He's not going to overwhelm you. He's a big guy, though, 6'1", 195. And, again, he'll mix 3 pitches. Both teams will be dressed in blue. The Oilers, or Blue Jays, if you will, in their blue tops, white numerals, blue caps, white pants. And John Curtis, based at River Ridge, with blue tops with red print, red numerals, white sleeves, white pants. And they have the two-tone caps. We're ready to roll as Nate Hilario will stand in to start game 2. 267 hitter, no homers. He has an RBI to his credit. First pitch is on the way, and he hit him. What a start. I just talked about his command. Hello, must have been me. First pitch at 7:58.
It must be this day, you know. In the first game, we saw lots of freebies.
Well,
I didn't expect that to carry over.
And that's one thing when you face. Now that was clearly a pitch that was way inside, but it's one thing when you face a John Curtis team. Okay, you can't give up the freebies to a team like that, and they will go take them. They've got 62 walks and 24 hit batters in 11 games this year. That's an average of 8 freebies per game.
And that's definitely a recipe for success.
Yeah, they've got more freebies than they've got hits. They've got 71 hits on the season.
Yeah, their numbers, their batting average numbers are not as high as you would expect. As the other 3 teams are gaudy.
Right. 274 team batting average, 451
Runner
on
goes,
base.
big jump and a swing and a foul out of play. Michoud, right past that vehicle, and that was a smash too. 0-1 to Michoud. Michoud, of course, a southeastern Louisiana commit. He's going into his senior year, 400 average with a homer and 6 driven in.
A family of hard-nosed baseball players,
yes,
the Michouds, from the daddy on down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Another legacy family in these schools we talk about. There's a beautiful strike call by Mr. Martin, and now it's 0-2. Straight up defensively. Everybody watches, I say this all the time that we come here, how Jesuit plays defensively to try to get an idea of how to play in this ballpark. 0-2. Roller toward third, swinging bunt. That one squibbing and stays foul.
I thought that was about to spin back fair. I kept waiting for that one hop to spin back, and it didn't do it.
And unlike grass fields that are sloped to get the water off, these are flat, and lots of times you'll see that ball spin back.
Sometimes on a grass field there, if you've got the dirt going down the line, sometimes it might hit the edge of the dirt where the grass starts and kick back, but of course you don't have that here. It's just different colors there. Everything is turf.
0-2. Fastball, and a catcher jumped out of his crouch, which that was a close pitch, but because he jumped out of his crouch, really took any chance of a strike being called. It's 1-2. Of course, he does that because of the base runner.
Well, I think it was a pitch out, and it's supposed to be a little bit farther over.
Yeah, that pitch was close, man. Swing and a miss. Sharp hook by Mace Martin. Strikes out Michoud. Round number 1. That's a sharp breaking ball there. And that's a back foot breaker. Those are the toughest ones for left-handed hitters from a right-handed hurler.
Yes, you got to get those out front. They're hard to get to.
Luke Martinez will bat. What a summer he's had. Just look at the numbers for Luke Martinez and just enjoy them. 542, 2 homers, and 12 driven in. Strike called at 0-1. Try that on for size.
That's good numbers if you were playing softball.
It's crazy numbers. Very impressive. Runner goes, pitch down and out, no chance. Stolen base for the speedy Hilario. Curtis loves to run, and Hilario loves to run, and he's 9 for 9 now in stolen bases. What an igniter.
Pressure,
38th steal of the year.
Pressure. That's what they do.
Ball and a strike. Chop toward third. Runner will advance to third. Throw is low. Nice pick by Nelson. On the throw from Dugan. Runner to third. Out number 2, and it takes something from Jeffrey Curtis, who will stand in, and yes, the name does matter. Jeff Curtis standing in the third base coaching box will tell you that. 333 for Jeffrey. No homers and 7 driven in. 2 Sports Star, as we have several of those on the John Curtis squad. And I love that personally. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball strike. It's on. Martin has the breaking ball going early, and it's a good one.
Yeah, he takes a little off it too, which gives the hitters a little bit more to think about. But the key is throwing it for a strike, first pitch.
0-1. It's a swing and a foul. Got a little piece of it. Now it's 0-2. So Martin trying to extricate himself from this after hitting the leadoff man, and a stolen base mixed in. It's no balls and 2 strikes.
Did you say snowballs? Because that would sound really good about now. And this is getting a little warm and humid.
Breaking ball down and out. Blocked.
And I know you're trying to cut back, so I shouldn't say that. You know?
Oh, yeah, snowball will. Depends on what flavor you get, right?
But you could get sugar-free syrup. You know?
Sure, or just
it's just ice.
Stay out of the cream flavors.
I see. I've never been one to do that.
I love cream flavors. Love them. Don't like them. Yeah. Love them. The pitch. Ooh, he laid off a tough breaking ball. Tease pitch, 2-2.
By the way, a long home run out of Harahan Playground where Curtis plays. You might hit Droopies.
Yeah, boy.
Talk about a good one. Oh, yeah.
Pack them in. 2-2 pitch. Front door breaking ball line in the right center field, a base hit, and the River Ridge Patriots take a 1-0 lead. Jeffrey Curtis coming through.
Stayed back nice on that. Went the other way. Just clears the second baseman's glove.
DeLatte ticked it, but couldn't rip it.
Reminiscent of that walk-off hit in the LSU Arkansas game.
Yes.
Bear Jones, a little line, that line drive, tipped off the top of the second baseman's glove, went into center field.
I have to admit, it went through my mind, too.
Colston Martinez chops it toward third foul. It's 0-1 on the pitcher, who's hitting .364 with 6 driven in. Colston.
You go back to that game. Arkansas has a way of just finding ways to lose games.
It's one of those things. Look, you could say it, but LSU just finds ways to win, don't they? It
works both ways.
Yes, it does. When they run into each other.
Strike called. It's 0-2. Well, LSU beat them 4 out of 5 times. Mm-hmm. And the discussion point, Arkansas had the best overall talent. Yeah, they might have. They didn't have the best team. Best team beat them 4 out of 5 times. End of story. There is no debate.
No, it isn't what you have in the dugout is what they do on the field.
No balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He gassed him. Inning over, but the Patriots jump on top with a run. It comes on a hit with the runner stranded. Bottom of the first coming. River Ridge with a 1-0 lead over Retif Oil. And to the field go the Patriots with Dufresne in left, Hilario in center, and Linton in right. Luke Martinez is at third. It's Michoud at short. Gonzalez at second. Goodwin at first. Curtis behind the plate, and on the mound it's Colston Martinez. Colston has made 3 appearances, and he's 2-0 with an 0.78 run average and a save as well. 9 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, only 1 earned run. He's walked 3, struck out 9. He has a whip of 1.11. Pitched during the prep season was good. And Colston is going into his senior season, and he is a seasoned senior to be.
Well, he's one of their mainstays, hitting in the 5-hole, pitching in the semis here. You know, he's one of those guys that you're going to have to handle if you're going to beat him. And it hurts to spot him 1-run lead in the first, just giving up the 1 hit. But you hate to see your pitcher hit the first by, but especially someone who could run.
Gendron brothers and Bosco will oppose him straight away. Martinez finishing his warm-up tosses.
Marty, what was how much importance did you place on getting on the board in the first inning when you were the visiting team? Yeah, we've seen it here twice now in 2 games, but it was at a, you know, how important, just based on how you wanted to play. And I know you much like what Jeff Curtis does, much like what Jeff Lupo does. You know, I know, you know, being able to bunt and run was certainly a part of what it was you did. How important was it to be able to get on top and be able to keep playing the game that way?
You always want, you know, especially in elimination games, you always want to play from the lead. Takes the pressure off your team. So scoring 1 in the first obviously is an advantage. But how important the first inning is for any game. I'll give you an example. At Destrehan, if we went 1-2-3 in the first, we brought a box of Snickers bars in the dugout for the team. I mean, you know, hey, there goes $50.
Is that?
But it was that important to get off to a good start and put a 0 up.
Sir, and NIL deals with Snickers before there was such a thing. There you go.
And I mean, when there was 2 outs and he'd walk the guy, the rest of the team would go crazy.
Griffin Gendron leads it off, and he gets it.
How about that?
Now, we've just tied an all-time record. An all-time record has been established here tonight. Each leadoff man in the ballgame has been hit by a pitch.
With the first pitch of the game.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Center fielder, Michael Brothers.
Michael Brothers will bat. Turnabout is fair play. Brothers 517. That's right, 517 average. Took it high. No homers, 7 driven in. He's really good. He was really good during the prep season. Brothers, left-handed hitter. Good-looking player. Takes it down and in, 2-0.
You know, and you don't look for Jesuit to bunt. You don't look for them to. They'll bunt late in the game when it calls for it. But they play a station-to-station type game, and they just swing the bats.
Fast strike, 2-1.
You know, they're gonna take that 2-0 after he hits the first guy. There's things that they do that are very solid.
That one hit him, so now we've had another hit battle. And now 2 on, nobody out. Well, we saw this in game 1. A really good pitcher, and Brennan Ramon coming off a perfect game, just couldn't come close to the plate, and now we're seeing it here in this game. And here's Joe Bosco, the DH, and another dangerous hitter. 485 with 14 RBI in the Summer League. And I mentioned earlier, Andrew Gibson here watching. He stayed for this game, too, because he's very interested in, talked to him earlier without getting in the names, very interested in as many as 5 or 6 players in both games here tonight combined.
You know, and Jesuit doesn't stand on top of home plate. They're not, you know, it's not like they're real close to home. Bosco's probably the closest one right now.
See how Bosco decides to approach this. Going to swing, and he shoots it into right center field. Center fielder on the run, and he got it. Runner tags from second, strong arm to third, but safe there. And let's see if they appeal second. That was a good tag and a quick move by Gendron to get to third. A productive out by Bosco and a good play by Hilario. He can really go get it in center.
He closed on that really well because Bosco's had that ball slicing away from him, and he still ran it down.
First baseman, Logan Nelson.
They're not going to appeal. Logan Nelson, the first baseman, 357, a homer, 6 RBIs. Just a really good job of tagging and timing that well, and he needed to with that arm that Hilario showed off. Nelson stepped out, gets back in as a pitcher stepped off. Jesuit doesn't run a lot. The pitch, high. It's never been a big part of their game on the prep level. Watching them on a regular basis, they do have 24 stolen bases in the summer. Throw to first, that's close but safe.
You know, I know Frank Miseraca, but I never coached against him. But from Morrow on down, they value the outs way more than that 90 feet.
Definitely. That is inside.
And that's why they didn't run a lot. They didn't take the chance. Now, guys that could really fly, they ran them. You know, I'm not saying they don't run guys that can really run. But
yeah. 2-0, runner goes as if on cue, and he's there on a ball, and it's 3-0.
But that's a spot there, even though 2-0 is not typically a count you might run on. In a first and third situation like that, double play can end the inning if you're not careful. Now you got a chance to score 2 with a hit.
3-1. Nelson will be in hit mode here. Infield back, so a ground ball should score a run. And that's ball 4, so the bases are loaded for Marshall Serio, who strides to the plate. Serio at 280, no homer, 6 RBI, a returning starter from the prep season. Same with Bosco brothers. Gendron, this is a team that has experience playing in the summer, this Retif Oil team.
Yeah, they have a lot of guys from the prep team that are still on this.
Yep. The pitch. Popped him straight up. Third base side, third baseman over, and does he have room? No.
That would have been a huge...
Or did he? He did. He got it. He caught it. He caught it for the out. We lose sight of that behind the dugout. He caught it, and that's out number 2, and a huge out recorded as Luke Martinez makes the catch.
Palmisano.
We had to wait for a signal, and then we saw the hitter going off. So
he didn't give us one.
It's up to Palmisano, exactly.
I was looking at the home umpire. He never gave us one.
Gavin Palmisano, 458 on the summer. Swings and fouls, and he's got a homer and 10 driven in.
I think all he did was he acknowledged it was a foul ball. That's it. I guess that's his sign in that situation. I don't know.
I thought he called him safe because I only saw one arm.
Well, the hitter saw it and he ran off.
Saw the
maybe
the left arm out for the foul ball.
Maybe everybody else could see it easy. I don't know.
0-1. And he went around on a breaking ball in the dirt, quickly 0-2.
Everything else a great vantage point here. That is the just there on the far end of either dugout is really kind of a blind spot as we view it, and for that matter, the people in the stands too. Yeah. Unless you happen to be all the way over on the first base side looking down the third base line or vice versa.
Martinez trying to pitch out of a situation where he's hit 2 batters and walked 1 and is 1 pitch away from doing it. On 0-2 on Palmisano. He struck him out on a breaking ball. Runner doesn't run. Now he does. The throw is wide and he is saved. Well, initially, Palmisano did not run. And finally recognizing it, and he was able to beat it. And scoring on the play is Gendron. And now we get Delat.
That was interesting.
That was different, with the bases loaded. Usually you think on a ball, it bounces in on a strike, the thing you want to do is just trap it and touch home plate. Yeah.
Couldn't get to it, though. The runner came home quickly. Ball high. That was what we witnessed there. What happened was the hitter didn't run, but the runner at third saw it. He broke immediately. Kenny Goodlett said to him, so no chance he could have beaten him to home plate. No. Had to throw to first. 1-0 on Delat. Derek waits the pitch. That is high, 2-0. Delat, really good hitter. Saw that during the prep season. And he's batting .423 in the summer with 7 driven in.
Yeah, he had a great prep season.
He did. Good hitter. Shoots it foul left side. That will be unplayable. To the bullpen area of the Patriots.
He dragged his barrel a little bit there on a 2-0 pitch. I think he would have got the barrel out sooner.
Then it's 2-1.
Usually you're early, not late on 2-0.
2-1 pitch. Low, 3-1. And that's ball 4, and that'll play to run. So now it's a 2-1 ball game, and wildness just hurting Martinez badly. Run scored on a wild pitch. Now a walk plates another run, and now a visit to the mound. Everybody advances. DeLatte gets RBI number 8. Visit to the mound. Austin Guidry will be the hitter when play resumes. Some gaudy numbers for this Retif Oil team. Guidry amongst those. I mean, they've got some guys with some really gaudy looking numbers. 480 average with 6 driven in. He has a home run to his credit, too. I mean, again, they're batting .377 as a team.
I was going to say, their team numbers are just ridiculous.
Crazy stuff.
I'll tell you what jumps out real with both these teams. Well, for Retif, 57 walks to 48 strikeouts coming in, and that doesn't include, the other freebies, 15 hit batters. So that's a 1.5 to 1 ratio of free passes to strikeouts.
Yeah,
I think every coach in America would take that.
Right.
Here's Guidry. The pitch. That is, I guess, high. I mean, the zone is tighter in this game. Yeah. No question that's accurate.
It's certainly lower.
It is absolutely lower. That's a strike in game 1. We're not seeing those off the corner pitches called either. High and tight, he hit him. And that's another run and another hit batter and the 3rd hit batter in the evening. And how much longer can Jeff Curtis go with this? He's got a pitcher warming quickly in the bullpen.
And he's telling them, go quicker.
I mean, this is like game 1. Same situation with the way it unfolded with Ramon in game 1. I mean, he just is nowhere near the plate. That's 3 hit batters and 2 walks.
Yeah, we don't have a hit yet.
Nope. Here's Jackson Dugan and a strike call. Dugan at 105, no homers. 3 runs driven in.
The problem with all these people on base is when you do give up a hit, then you give up runs. Lots of runs.
0-1. It's way high. And it's 1-1.
Number 19, Marcellus Savoy, running at first base.
Marcellus Savoy runs at first for Guidry. Again,
see if I'm Curtis
that pitch might have been a strike in game 1. In fact, I think it would have been.
If I'm Curtis right now, I'm trying to back pick at first. I'm going to try something because right now nothing's working. My pitcher won't throw strikes. I've got to find an out.
Now it's 2-2. Again, bullpen action for the Patriots.
Martinez had allowed 2 runs in 9 innings all summer. Only 1 of them earned.
2-2 the count. Double barrel action in the bullpen, actually, for the Patriots. And he's low here. So now it's full again, 3-2, and now the runners will take off. The old merry-go-round play here about to take place. So this becomes an important pitch in the game. Patriots trying not to let this thing get away early. There go the runners. That's ball 4, and it's 4-1. And let's see if a move is made here.
And there's times when the umpire's tight a little bit, but he's missing so bad. Even the fans are not on the umpire.
Right.
It's not like they're, come on, Blue, we got to get that call. There's no noise.
Here's John Drawn, who was hit by a pitch to start this inning. And swing and a miss, 0-1.
And that was a BP fastball right there. He just threw that at about 80% right down the middle. Just trying to get a strike.
The 0-1 pitch. Bounced it, 1-1. And it's 1-2.
Good cut right there. You got a feel for Martinez because he's experienced player for him. He's been a part of this club, and he expected to come out here and be sharp.
1-2 the count. With the bases loaded and 4 runs home, without the benefit of a hit. Bounce that, 2-2. Troubles continue for Martinez, and Jeff Curtis is stuck with him for now. In the air, should end the inning. Center fielder doesn't see it. He still doesn't see it. It drops. 1 run home, 2 runs home, 3 runs home. Runner for third. He is safe on what has to go as a triple, and breaks this one open at 7-1 in the first inning. Close play at third, called safe. Jeff Curtis wants to argue it. Will be to no avail. And like you said, Marty, eventually, right?
Yeah.
And yet that was, a fortuitous hit. He did not see the ball. And it cost him 3 runs. So that's a routine fly ball.
That time of night, you get.
But you keep putting them there, somebody will get a hit and drive them in.
Mm-hmm. I want to know the Brothers, who was hit by a pitch, stole a base, scored a run earlier. Two and 0.
Time to make a move.
I don't know how long. Well, look, he should have been out of the inning on that pop-up, right?
Well, he should have been out. If the third strike is hung on to, he's out of the inning with a 1-0 lead.
Well, ball was in the dirt, though. Again, that's
right.
You can block it up, but the pitch is in the dirt. It's a wild pitch. And I know my catcher over there will say it's a wild pitch, too, so it's all good. Catchers never have pass balls. They just don't. So the pitching change is going to be made here.
If you can't hit the catcher, shame on you, man.
2/3 of an inning. That's it. This is very similar to game 1 in that regard. It's going to require massive length from the bullpen. And the new pitcher for River Ridge will be 22. We'll get that for you in a moment. I don't have 22, so you're going to have to help me out here. See if we can find something on that.
Let's see. That's a good question. Not on.
Yeah, we don't have 22. I wish I could help.
It's not on here. Let's see if we can find out.
Not on the stats, not on the roster. Well, we'll do our best, and 22's on the mound. Colston Martinez done.
You know anybody?
After 2/3 of an inning. Gave up the 1 hit, and that was a fortuitous hit for John Draw, but it counts.
Well, you just can't put that much traffic on the bases. That's what, eventually something's going to occur that's going to help the other team. And in this case, it's a lost fly ball in center field. Good for 3 runs, but
even with a strikeout, could not get an out. That's the kind of night it was. There's nothing happening.
Center fielder, Michael Brothers.
Michael Brothers, hit by pitch, scored a run earlier in this inning. No bat here. Way outside, 1-0.
go ahead.
Ball and no strikes.
You stuck?
And that is another hit batter. Brothers will go to first. The 4th of the inning. Amazing. And so he goes to first, hit by pitch. And Joe Bosco will bat, who flew out to center field earlier in the inning, as he gets set to step in again. And took a ball. It's 1-0. It's Aiden Morrill is the new pitcher. Aiden Morrill. Runner goes from first. They throw to third. Instead, it's a stolen base. Brothers gets his second of the game in that regard. It's 2-0. And this scorebook's a total mess already.
The minute they sent 10 to the plate,
it's a total mess. Good luck reading this. Oh, he threw that one over his head. So it's 3-0. They've hit 4 batters and just threw one over the head on a breaking ball. It didn't break. There's a base open for what it's worth.
I don't think we're pitching around anybody.
I don't. Look at this one. Runner for the plate and a good read. He's safe. You want to give him a pass ball or a wild pitch there?
That's a wild pitch.
All right, just asking. I knew you'd say that.
If I got to go up 8-7 to get to it, I got,
Was able to get a glove on it, but doesn't matter. It's 3-1. Runner at third now with 2 outs, an 8-1 game, and that's a 9-1 game. That's going to go into right field, a base hit. Joe Bosco singles home a run to make it 9-1. Brothers scores, and now Logan Nelson, who's walked and scored, will bat again for the second time. 13th batter to hit in the inning.
You win a lot of games if you score 9 in the first.
You think? Not going to get the call. Slightly down and out, 1-0.
The one thing Curtis has going for him is that there's still a lot of baseball to play.
Way up, 2-0. And I mean, as a coach, it's just got to be hard to watch this. Jeff Curtis is going to make another pitching change, I do believe.
It's way beyond hard.
I mean, you can't defend it.
It's painful, and you're self-inflicted. It's not like the other team's doing it to you. And there was no way to anticipate it.
Aiden Morrill is done, and Caden Bittard will come on. So Caden Bittard becomes the third pitcher of the game, and we're in the first inning. That's got disaster written all over it.
Yeah, 3 pitchers in the first, unless it's the major leagues and they're doing a bullpen game. It's never good.
There's nothing.
And the hardest thing is for Kenny Goodlett to sit over there and try not to smile when you get 9 runs on 2 hits.
Yeah. So Caden Bittard takes over. See if he can find the plate. 4 appearances. He's 1-1 with a 2.52 run average. 8 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs earned with 7 walks and 8 strikeouts. He's hit a batter. His whip is 1.56 for Bittard, junior to be. He'll be facing Logan Nelson, who walked and scored earlier this inning. First pitch swinging. First baseman over and no play. Missed the vehicle. That's good. It's 0-1.
Oh, that head.
I was watching it carefully. There's a white vehicle there.
That was sky high, and that had windshield.
That had smash all over it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep. Oh my, that would be a wild pitch. Runner to second. Now, this team has played good ball in this summer. This is just not indicative of what we've seen. You could say the same thing for Malcolm Dinas. I mean, just the way you play in this situation is not what you prescribed or hoped for or were accustomed to. But, I mean, you just can't defend this kind of pitching. It's a 4-pitch walk. Second time Nelson's walked.
That's 4 walks and 4 hit batters already this inning?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to count. It's crazy.
I was told there would be no math. Come on now.
Well, I mean, gosh. Hit batter, hit batter, hit batter, hit batter. Here's another one in the dirt, 1-0. So it's 4 hit batters. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walks.
6 walks. Yeah. Wow.
So there's been 11 base runners, 2 hits.
And one of them was pop-up that nobody could see. way outside and low. And I mean, and these pitches are missing by wide margins. I think that's maybe 2 pitches that were thrown earlier that could have gone the other way. And we're not. But again, when pitchers are not around the plate, you don't get the calls. Now the catcher to the mound. And I mean, it's contagious. It's happening across the board with their pitching here this evening. Again, painful to watch. And, boy, we want to bring you good games. And
yeah, I'm hot for them.
And we thought we would, but these teams are really good. That's why they're here. Last year we had a 12-inning marathon game in the semis.
Over 2 days.
Top foul, yep. Amazing. And I think that took a lot out of the winner of that game.
Certainly, yeah. The way it worked out, we ended up playing the second half of one semifinal, the second semifinal, and the championship all on the same day.
Right. 2-1. Swung at a ball that was in the dirt. Runners will advance. Another wild pitch, of course, and now second and third. And a 2-2 count. On Sirio, we'll try to do some more damage.
Right there, that pitch was right in front of Jeff Curtis. I mean, had a chance. Jeffrey, had a chance to block that. Was on squeaked through his legs.
Struck him out looking. So the inning mercifully ends. 14 batters come to the plate. 9 runs score on 2 hits. No errors. 2 men left on base. We played 1. Retif Oil 9. And River Ridge 1. And Jeff Curtis calls a team meeting right away.
Well, the key term there is you've got 9 runs. They got 9 runs, and we didn't make an error. Okay? So it just didn't pitch. It's that simple. You know, they got 2 hits.
Some of that's pitching. Now, again, some things are not listed as errors or plays that could have been made. Yeah, if the wild pitch, you block that. Again, it's, I go back to that. I know it was a tough play, but still, you got to. If you could find a way to block up that pitch in the dirt, instead of letting it go all the way to the screen, even though it was in the dirt, it might be 1-0. Obviously, if the ball isn't lost in the twilight, it's 4-1. So it's
still doable.
Yeah. Was it Dandy Don Meredith used to say, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, right? So, but the fact is, it happened. The good news for the Patriots is they've still got 6 swings up there,
And we know they're a no-quit type of program, so, they're not going to give in.
Absolutely.
And the position players right now are not feeling sorry for themselves because they really had nothing to do with that. They're going to go up there and be aggressive. Right. They're going to go up there and get quality at bats. And the key is not to try to get 8 runs in this inning.
Right. This guy can't step into the box and hit an 8-run homer right here.
You got to peck away at it, get guys on base, get yourself a couple runs each inning, and put some zeros on top.
Base Martin had a long wait. Here's Keegan Linton, and it's high and tight.
The batter is right fielder Linton Keegan.
It's one of those things you worry about when your pitcher's sitting down for 20, 25 minutes like he was.
Strike call, 1-1.
At some point, you tell him go throw a little bit, but, I'll take the 9.
Just missing. And again, the zone's tighter in this game. It's 1-1. Or 2-1, pardon me. Two and 2.
The difference is now with a 9-1 score is that Retif's pitcher can just, he gets behind, he can just bury it. Not worry about what the batter's going to do with it because it can't hurt him.
Struck him out. Great pitch. Martin has a really good breaking ball, as I said earlier, and he showed it off right there. So Keegan Linton retired.
Good chance I'll see him on Saturday or Sunday.
Well, one of the things I was actually thinking about, and we should mention that
Dufresne takes a ball.
Of the 21 teams in the league, 20 of them end their season with the end of the Crescent City Sports Summer League. Jesuit elects to play in the American Legion State Tournament starting on Saturday. So
to the netting, 1-1.
If you're Kenny Goodland and you've got a big lead here, do you get Mace Martin out early thinking you got a chance maybe to bring him back in the opening round of that tournament on Saturday or even Sunday, as opposed to, he's been pitching probably on Mondays all summer long.
Yep. To the pitcher, Martin ends up in a good position to glove it and throw him out. 2 gone. Martin showing no ill effects from the long half inning that he sat. And now we get Sean Goodwin, the first baseman.
I didn't notice if he was down there playing catch, but pitching coach Daryl Delsa, I'm sure, wasn't going to let him get too far away.
First baseman, Sean Goodrum.
So here's Goodrum.
Daryl's been doing this a long time.
Goodrum at the plate. And it's 1-0 on Sean Goodrum. Looking for his first hit of the summer. Swing and a miss. Just missed down in it. Mace Martin trying to work quickly here. 2-1. And it's now 2-2.
Who was the pitching coach at UNO when Randy Bush was the head coach? Blanking out here.
Yeah, so mine.
Yeah, but I just remember his philosophy about his pitchers. He would say, work fast, throw strikes, Babe Ruth is dead. Yeah, that was his philosophy.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 1, 2, 3, go the Patriots.
Which is basically saying, don't give them too much respect.
Just walking, taking your, getting out of your rhythm and walking, guys, is going to get you beat more than throwing strikes is.
Mace Martin takes care of business. Bottom of the second coming. It's 9-1. The Retif Oil. Today's coverage of the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Quick Lane services all makes and models, batteries, tires, oil changes, and more. All done quickly while you enjoy some popcorn. Must be a reason.
Could use some popcorn about now. So talking. I hear you say what I think is Snowball, and then now you're talking about the popcorn at the.
Well, they've got that downstairs, I think. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, you know people.
We know people that know people. Yeah.
You got to talk. You can't be eating no popcorn.
Oh, that's a good point.
Kenny, you're talking about we're watching those foul balls skirt cars out there. Last year I was coaching Riverside. We're at Vanderbilt Catholic, and in the 4th inning of the game, I got thrown out for arguing with the umpire.
I can't imagine that happened.
And it was a day that we had celebrated the 2003 Destrehan team. So I drove to the game and met him there rather than being on the bus. And got thrown out. I'm watching on Game Changer, and a guy hits a home run and hits me.
Oh, my goodness.
And puts a big dent in the side of my car.
God.
But I got hit before I saw it because it was delayed. That felt like a ball. Here it is.
Oh, man.
I got thrown out. I got a dent in my car. I was like, oh, that's a great day.
What a day, man. Gavin Palmisano bats, struck out but reached his first time and first pitch swinging to third. Luke Martinez, nice play. Made it look easy. Good job. Charged it, gloved it cleanly, transferred great, perfect throw.
I got hit by a foul ball one time, and I don't know what this thing came off the bat at, but I will tell you, it left a mark. And of all places, it was in Omaha. I was at the College World Series. I'm going to tell you who was pitching. Mark Pryor.
Oh,
who could bring it, okay? And they were playing Georgia, I think.
Derek Galat takes it inside.
Pryor pitch for SC.
You had no chance of getting around on Pryor. Georgia hitter, right-handed hitter. I'm sitting down the first base line. It goes right by me, hits a railing in the old box seats at Rosenblatt, ricochets and drills me in the leg.
Deep short, tough chance, no chance. I'd give him a hit there. Glove side, back. Arm side, backhand, tough chance.
Absolutely.
I'd give him a hit.
I wanted to see Mishu try to make that play. That would have been a tough play, but he's that kind of athlete. That would have been fun to see.
Well, Delat's a good hitter, and he can run, and I give him a base hit. Austin Gedry will bat. Was hit by a pitch, scored a run, and drove in a run earlier.
Nothing on the board yet, but it should be. There you go.
Bounced it 1-0. Definitely.
The batter is catcher Austin Gedry.
I mean, you take into account everything. Delat runs well. It's hit toward the hole.
Left-handed.
Left-handed, high school. That's a hit for me. I'm sorry.
You know, the the rule,
Swing and a miss.
the rule or the guidelines in the official scorer's book is, can they make the play with ordinary effort? That would have not been that would have been extraordinary effort to make that
What
play.
would JL have called it?
Base hit.
Okay. Well, Jeff Cirillo was batting?
Well, maybe so.
High and tight.
There you go.
And it's 2-1. Or Edgar Caceres.
Wow.
I mean, he helped Edgar Caceres win a batting title, man. Jeff Cirillo was right up there. His adopted son.
Augie Schmidt won one like that, too.
Ooh.
Oh, he hit him. So another hit batter. My goodness, that's 5 by Patriot pitcher. 2 on, 1 out. Jackson Dugan will bat. He walked and scored his first time. And we'll get a runner at first base as well. That's number 19, Marcellus Savoie, who ran earlier.
Marcellus.
JL had his favorite. He was a great scorer. Knew the game as well as anybody, but he definitely had his favorites, man. Jackson Dugan.
Everybody does. Okay.
Up in his zone. He was trying to get certain individuals to the big leagues from AAA in the Zephyrs games.
Back in the early days, there were a bunch of handwritten reports and things. It wasn't
check swing roller to short. Michoud to second, got the force there. And back pick to third, but safe.
That was a lot closer at second than that umpire made it look.
Exactly.
I thought he was going to call him safe.
Courtesy runner was getting down the line. That was a bang play at second. It really was.
Left fielder, Griffin Gendron.
2 outs for Gendron, who's had the hit by pitch, scored a run, and then the 3-run triple where nobody could find the ball. And he grounds this over toward the Curtis dugout, 0-1. Interesting that the Oilers have come out swinging in the second inning at first pitches. I guess they got tired of walking and getting hit by pitch.
Trying to get some stats now.
You got to play 7 innings against any John Curtis Christian team. They play so hard all the time.
Absolutely.
A staple of that program. Long pause here. Finally, stretching and pitching. And there's a wild pitch, and what a pick by the catcher. Throw to first, runner back. That's a good job by the base runner, Dugan, and a good job by the catcher, Curtis, to not take the bait there.
He was way off the base at first there.
I don't think he was baiting him. I think he thought he was going to miss it.
Towards short. Long throw coming, and there. So Michoud throws out Gendron, and the inning is over, and a 0 put up on the board by Batard. No runs and a hit. No errors. 2 stranded. That's 4 left for Retif. We played 2, and Retif Oil leads John Curtis-based River Ridge 9-1. As we're to inning number 3. The championship game is tomorrow at 6 p.m. here. And you can watch it live on Crescent City Sports. We encourage you to come out, watch the game. You can watch it on your phone, but always remember you can watch it not only live, but via replay, free, always, through Crescent City Sports. We hope you appreciate the service. We've been providing it since we got started with this streaming entity in 2012. Website since 2008. 17 years. And now 13 years of streaming.
17 years.
And the very first game we did was right here in this ballpark. Opened this ballpark up March of 2012, Jesuit against Holy Cross. Been back a few times since. We've seen some great games in here. Mentioned earlier during our first semifinal that memorable 18-inning Jesuit Rummel game. Emerson Gibbs.
Yeah, the game of all games. Emerson Gibbs and Mitch Seawald.
Was that the game that changed pitching rules?
Yes.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, it was. I mean, to be precise, 191 and 155.
Yeah.
And again, not taking a shot at anyone because there were a lot of okays about continuing in that game.
But
from,
you were
from
0-0,
players and
right?
parents.
Y'all were
Second baseman.
Well, we did the game.
But the score was 0-0.
It was 1-1. 1-1. Yeah, 1-1 in the extra innings. Ended up
correct.
Jesuit won it 2-1.
As a coach, you usually wait for see some did they break down?
Yeah, but that was
in that game. Everybody
was the
said,
thing. I mean, Emerson was putting up 1-2-3 inning after 1-2-3 inning after 1-2-3 inning. You know, he was mowing them down. He showed no signs of weakening.
But that was my question as a coach when I heard the numbers. Was they obviously neither one of them was showing fatigue.
Breaking ball missing away. 1-1 to Jace Gonzalez, the 9-hole hitter who's had a good summer. 321 with 4 driven in. Right-handed hitter facing Mace Martin, works into his 3rd inning. 1-1. Swung at it, missed it. Good fastball, good location. 1-2.
Somewhere in oblivion, there's probably a really good copy of that game. It's
up and away, 2-2.
It's out there on YouTube, but it's you know, we were doing things in standard definition back then.
It was a different iteration of our website, so we don't access it now.
Right.
Down and out, 3-2. Just go see Larry Gibbs. I'm sure Larry's got it.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it was a great game.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out for out number 1. That's the 3rd strikeout on 4 hitters. And one time through the lineup, that's 5 strikeouts from Ace Martin. He's good. And here's Nate Hilario, who was hit by a pitch, stole a base, scored a run. Things were looking pretty good for the Patriots at that stage.
Manufactured that run on the top of the 1st inning, and you think, okay, they're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Missing away. This team is all about their first 5 guys, and their top 2 guys are their table setters. They're both really good. They're quick, can run, Hilario and Mishu. 1-0 the count. Here's the next one. And that's a strike, and it's 1-1. Retif Oil wearing the blue jerseys, which they have in the summertime for a long time. Not during the prep season, I can assure you. There's a bunt toward 3rd. It's foul, and it's 1-2. That will not happen. The pinstripes are the pinstripes, and they're going to live on. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing's eternal, but
that might be.
Nothing's eternal except if you're a believer and so forth. But that said, on this earth, nothing's eternal. But the pinstripes for Jesuit, that might be eternal. I don't know.
That'll be as close as it gets.
As close as it gets, yeah. 1-2 the count. To even suggest something else is blasphemy. 1-2. And he struck him out. What a pitch. 2 outs. Mace Martin is controlling things here.
I was adamant about my team wearing white at home. And then Jesuit would come, and it was like we'd put on a colored jersey. And
Shortstop, Connor Mishu.
Towards the end, I said, hey, we'll just both be white.
That's it. Just wear what you want. Don't worry about what they wear. Here's Mishu, struck out swinging his first time. Look at that one.
Yep.
He hit the ball.
Yep.
And it's 1-0. A guy with good command. I put the word on him to start the game about his good command. He promptly hits the first man of the game with the first pitch he threw. And now he just threw one that, I don't know.
The backstop on a fly.
He hit the Blue Jay. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And he comes back and makes a pretty good pitch. It's called the ball, and it's 2-0.
He paints the corner.
Yeah. Again, this plate is much tighter than in game 1. Much tighter. To each his own. 2-0. Roped to right and caught. Palmisano read it well on a hard hit ball by Mishu. Inning over. 1-2-3. Go the Patriots. Bottom of the 3rd is coming, and it's a 9-1 lead for the Retif Oilers. And today's coverage of the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League is brought to you by Ochsner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute. Get the same sports medicine care the pros receive with minimally invasive treatments and quicker recovery times. Visit Ochsner.org/sportsmed to learn more or schedule an appointment near you.
You know, our umpire in the first game reminded me of the umpire in the 2005 championship game between Jesuit and us at Destrehan. And way off the plate was a strike. And Johnny Giovatello pitched for them, and he stayed there, and we couldn't touch him. And
he wasn't even a pitcher, man.
It didn't matter.
But he was that night.
If you're going to give him that white line, you don't have to be a pitcher. You just have to be an athlete. Unfortunately, I was out of pitching. And my guys came in, and they beat us that night 6-1.
And in all sincerity, I thought Rummel was the best team in the state that year, and you beat them.
Yes.
You knocked them out with that. All those kids, they had like 7 signees off that team.
Yeah, they were very good. It was just one of those games that got away from them.
You played great. Well, you came back at a gigantic inning, as I recall, and beat them. I know Jesuit was really happy when you did that. So.
Yeah. Because they knew I had no pitching left.
And they knew those dudes who had beaten them.
Center fielder, Michael Brothers.
Michael Brothers bats. Missing away, ball 1. Brothers hit by pitch, and he's walked, and he's scored twice. Facing Batard here. 1-0. Swing and a miss, and a ball down. 1-1. Destrehan-Hahnville is a great rivalry.
Yeah.
And great rivalry. In every sport, I don't care what it is. In terms of across the board, that's probably as good as it gets. Swing and a tap foul. It's 1-2. In baseball, the trilogy rivalry is Jesuit-Rummel. The games that those two schools have produced have been off the charts. I mean, there are so many walk-offs, extra innings, state championships, 18 innings. I mean, on and on and on.
I mean,
man.
it goes back to that 1980 season that we were talking about, right. The 5 games that year, and those were 5 terrific games in 1980. Capped by the state championship game.
Down and in, and it's 3-2. Look,
well, it just tells you.
In 72, Rummel lost the state championship game 2-1, and they were the best team, and they had unbelievable players. And there's a swing and a miss. He struck him out, 1 out. But that year, they played Jesuit, and Jesuit beat them 2-1 behind a sophomore pitcher named Brian Metairie. And so they had to play a deciding game for the district championship of that league, and Rummel proceeded to win 5-0 the next night. They went on to play the state championship and lost 2-1. Then the next year they came back, and they beat Jesuit both times and went undefeated, and Rick Ziblich pitched a no-hitter in the state championship game to win their first state championship under Larry Schneider. But the games that those two teams played, because I have family history with both schools, and my dad and brother were Jesuit grads, and watching some of those games, it was crazy. I watched John Ryan beat Rummel once, if you can believe that, when I was young. There's a strike, 2-1. We lost John a couple of years ago. Fantastic guy. One of the nicest people you ever met. He was a great high school pitcher. Pitched at Tulane. He was quite good. Milt Retif. Ground ball right side, handled. To the bag unassisted. Goodrum, 2 outs. As Batard starting to settle things in for the Patriots. And Logan Nelson will bat. I mean, and some of the names, some of the players
First
associated with that.
Logan Nelson.
That trilogy. Unbelievable. And Rummel's only had 3 that have played in the majors, and that's Thomas Diamond and the 2 Bollinger brothers. But Jesuit's had a whole bunch, 12 of those.
Yeah.
Pitch high, it's 1-0. You got some notes there somewhere about that. So it's pretty crazy about.
I mean, obviously, you start Rusty Staub and Will Clark and Johnny Giovatello, Ryan Adams is in there, but Larry Gilbert, Tookie Gilbert. I guess most recently Kyle Keller, is he? Yeah, he's the most recent one. Yeah. So you've got but again, that's a program with an incredible history. It's won more state championships than anyone in the history of Louisiana high school baseball.
Look, the stretch I had, the 14 years I had at Destrehan was the best in Destrehan's history.
Yep.
And in those 14 years, 7 times we met Jesuit in the playoffs because we both went far. Mm-hmm. And they beat me 5 out of the 7 times.
Well, you beat them twice.
Yeah.
There you go. It's pretty good.
But you hated to see them on your side of the bracket.
Exactly.
Another walk issue, this one to Nelson. He heads the first. Serial bats, who's popped to third and struck out. And then, of course, then came Barb. And Barb kind of took over everything.
Yeah. And the tail end of that, well, Barb was good in the middle of that, too.
They were?
Yeah. In 3, we beat Barb in the semis.
Runner goes. That'll be a stolen base. Logan Nelson got a huge jump.
In 3, we beat Barb in the semis. In 2005, Bo Jones threw a no-hitter out against them in the regional round.
That was Bo Jones.
Yeah. You don't get many of those.
Nope. Doesn't happen very often. We have Brother Martin in the championship game here, Case for Kids, and they've had Greg Dykman, and Cheeto Martinez in the major leagues. We
Just
lost
passed
Cheeto
away, yep.
a short time ago. So they've had a couple of major leaguers. John Curtis is not, but stay tuned. Rope to foul, and
it's not easy.
over the bullpen.
I mean, even Bo didn't make it. To the major leagues. Destrehan's never had a guy play in the major leagues. Hanville's had a couple.
I don't know why you got people shooting fireworks.
It's not even July yet.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Tap foul. It's also illegal, but never enforced, right?
Well, it's fireworks.
1-2 the count. Well, I don't have any animals, and that's perfectly fine, but Mr. Van Gilder does. And dogs, they don't like the fireworks.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Hit him. We got another hit batter, folks. Oh, well, that's been the story of this game. Crazy to see all the hit batters.
A lot of gifts.
That is 6.
Right fielder, Gavin
Palmisano has struck out, scored, grounded to third base. So 2 on, 2 outs. Pitch to Gavin. That's low. I mean, Jesuit's a really good hitting team, but they've only got 3 hits, and one of them was a fortuitous pop-up triple.
I'm a firm believer when things get out of hand like this, you stop swinging.
Left side, tough chance, good play. Throw to first. That's a super play by Luke Martinez. He's made 2 outstanding plays in this game. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 stranded. That's 2 left in every inning for Retif. They could have added on, but they have not. And after 3, it's 9-1 Retif Oil over the River Ridge Patriots. Another team meeting for the Patriots before inning 4 continues here.
Well, we keep talking about how they fight and they don't give up.
No, they don't.
There's an example. This is an example of it right now. You're seeing the players still playing hard, making plays. The pitching's still letting guys on base, but they're coming up with enough big plays to put up 2 zeros in a row, keep themselves the opportunity to come back.
Mace Martin, 41 pitches in 3 innings. He struck out 6. He's hit a batter. There's a lot of run. And they're going to work against the 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Patriots. Luke Martinez, Jeffrey Curtis, and Colston Martinez here in the top of the 4th. 9 runs, 3 hits, no errors. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors for the Patriots. And on we go.
So I don't know if it's a complete list on Baseball Reference, but it's outside of the 2 guys that made the big leagues. Is Trey Morgan the first Brother Martin player to get to AAA?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's like looking back at some of these guys here. And again, I don't know if it's a complete list here or not. So it's this thing is not always 100% accurate.
Well, we know Cheeto made it to the major.
Well, yeah, right. Other than Dykman and Martinez. Did anybody else get you AAA?
Third baseman, Luke Martinez.
Trey Morgan in AAA for the Rays right now, of course, and having a good season. First pitch, and that's a strike called. It's 0-1 to Luke Martinez, who's made 2 splendid plays at third in this game. Laid off of it, down and out, 1-1.
Diamond still, talked about Thomas Diamond from Rummel.
Oh, man,
Still one of my favorites.
Well, as a tapper foul, I did his games at UNO. He was pitcher of the year in the Sun Belt Conference, and it was with regularity that in the 9th inning he was throwing 97 miles an hour. And he was thick as a brick, strong as an ox, smooth as can be, great arm, was on the fast track, and then Tommy John surgery. And it stalled everything, and swing and a miss struck him out. I was close to Thomas and went to see him in Frisco, Texas to pitch Took my son there to go see him pitch, and he was like lights out.
Catcher.
And he was going to make it to the
Curtis.
majors, and in probably that month, they were going to call him up from Double-A, and then he tore his. He had the tear, and Tommy John surgery ensued, and a lot of guys come back and throw harder, but he didn't. He went from being 96 to 98 consistently to being 91, 92. Still made it to the majors and won a game, but could have been a lot more had he stayed healthy. He had all of that. 0-1 the count. They had a rotation at UNO under Randy Bush when I was doing their games that was fronted by Thomas Diamond and followed by J.P. Martinez.
Nice.
It was something else. And then they had the Stander brothers who were really good. Mark and Jeff Stander. They had really good pitching. And Wally Whitehurst was there as a pitching coach initially.
Yep.
So I'm just...
Danny Ream chiming in earlier when we were asking about that. That it was
Wally.
and Joe Sluzarski.
Joe Sluzarski followed up. So the two, you caught me off guard earlier, but I was thinking about it. And definitely the two major leaguers and two friends of mine. Great guys, great coaches. 1-2, swing and a miss. So Mace Martin dominating. I mean, I do mean dominating. That's 8 strikeouts, and we're only in the 4th inning for Mace Martin. He's rolling. That's 9 in a row set down by Martin, and now he deals with Colston Martinez, who struck out swinging to end the first inning when the Patriots had taken a 1-0 lead. That seemed like a long time ago. That's a strike. It's 0-1.
Number 21, Colston Martinez.
One hit for Curtis in the game. That was Curtis's RBI single in the first.
Imagine that. A Curtis for Curtis. It is the ultimate family affair. At that fine River Ridge School. Strike called. It's 0-2. I would assume the Patriarchs here.
I saw him earlier. Yes, he is
in the
here.
dugout.
He is here.
And for those listening, we're going to have him speaking this Wednesday at a ministry luncheon we have at Piccadilly Cafeteria in Metairie.
Always good stuff. Come check it out, please.
At noon on Wednesday. Down and out, 1-2. JT is immensely popular and always positive and always has a great message to share, and I'm sure he will on Wednesday. It's free and open to anybody to come at Piccadilly. Meet in the front room in Metairie. Just get your food. Come join us. And if you do, you get a chance to meet Marty Luquette. That's why you come.
Yeah,
it's special, man.
They line up.
I mean, that's right. They line up to get your autograph.
$20 an autograph.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Marty's bringing a whole stack of 20s to pay you to take his autograph.
That's it.
1-2 pitch toward third foul. And that moment we had last week, Marty, was one of the. We've done this for. I mean, I've run it for 25, 26 years, but when it's over with and the guy starts asking questions to Lucy, and all of a sudden she starts saying, and then all of a sudden he says, he has a baseball cap on, so she didn't recognize him.
Yeah.
I'm Buster. You were my junior prom date. Swinging a miss. What a job by Mace Martin. You talk about dominant. This young man is dominating. 9 strikeouts, 10 in a row he's set down. Bottom of the 4th coming, and it's a 9-1 lead for Retif Oil. And today's coverage on the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League is brought to you by Gibbs Construction, a leader in the construction industry in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast for more than 45 years, transforming dreams, visions, and plans into reality. Gibbs Construction. Now, the moral of that story is don't wear a baseball cap and expect somebody to recognize you 25 years later, right? So
Exactly.
He told me on the way over there that
he's such a nice guy.
That he knew her.
Yeah, he knew her. And then he told me afterwards, she was nice. When I said, whose prom was it? He says, mine. I asked her. She said yes.
Yeah, his son plays for me. Plays at Riverside, and he plays for the
Great guy.
Hawks.
Yeah, really good guy.
A little pitcher.
So, good stuff.
Yeah.
And the Patriots will.
Lucy was very good. Lucy was very good, too.
What a pleasant person.
She had a great message. And I can't wait to hear JT this week.
So the Patriots have Batard still out there pitching in the 4th inning. Coach does this once a year for us, and it's always good. And a few times a year I'll go catch his service over at school at Coliseum Baptist Church on the campus of John Curtis. And went to visit him about 4 weeks ago or so. Always positive.
You won't find a better man than John Curtis, than JT, man.
Deeply appreciate him and course, they've been
Second
big
baseman,
supporters of
Derek
CrescentCitySports.com now for many years.
15 years going back to our previous 2 iterations.
The same holds true of Brother Martin High School. Very fond and
Yep.
appreciative of Brian Gallagher and his entire crew there. And a ball missing. And while we're at it, Dolat, who has walked and singled and scored a run and driven home a run, bats. Want to give a big shout out and credit here momentarily. That's down in 2-0. The architect of this whole league is sitting right here to our left, Frank Cazzo. He came up with a great concept, approached me about it 5 years ago, sold me on it, handpicked us. The rest is history. We'll always be thankful to Frank. Rope, and that's foul down the right field side, and it's 2-1.
Well, you know, the one thing about Frank is he always had in mind what was best for his program and for everybody's program.
And schools.
Yeah, everybody, not just his own, but, you know, he knew what he wanted, what he needed to get prepared for the next year, and it wasn't to play American Legion with a bunch of seniors.
It's 3-1 now. No. Three and 2.
The key word we keep coming back to in all of this, everything we talk about with the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League, is development.
Toward left, slicing. That could be trouble, and a good play on the run. A lot of speed there from Dufresne to run it down. You can see the range that this Curtis outfield has. They got guys that can go get it. One gone.
Well, we're talking about John Curtis. They are loaded with athletes. There's no doubt about
Catcher,
that. As they made some really nice plays, and there's some great speed right there. Showed by.
But it's one thing to be athletic. It's another thing to have that translate into baseball skill as well.
Right.
Guidry takes a strike. It's 0-1. Guidry has been hit by a pitch not once but twice. And I know right about now he's hoping, let's not make that 3 times, please. Look, oh my goodness. I almost called it. And it is just a bit inside and high, 1-1.
You know, Lenny, but as a coach, you put your team on the field, and the really good teams I had were very athletic. You know, and to be really good and elite, you have to be athletic.
Didn't mean to. And that's a foul ball. And it's 1-2. I'm not sure what Jeff Curtis, he's asking if it's a fair ball.
If he's out of the box.
Yeah.
That's what he's asking. But
Yeah.
he wasn't out of the box.
Got the explanation. Returns to the dugout.
But you've been hit twice and you hit one off yourself.
I'm going to wear a few tonight. And he hits this one in the right center field. For the right fielder, Linton makes the catch. And 2 gone. Egan Linton and now Jackson Dugan, who's walked, driven home a run, scored a run. He's 0 for 1.
Third baseman,
And Batard has settled things down a bit for
Jackson
Curtis. He's
Dugan.
done a nice job. Is the third pitcher of the game after Martinez struggled and Morrill did as well. That's a popper, 0-1.
Good pitch right there. A little life on it. He said he has settled things down considerably.
1-1.
I think that first inning was just one of those things that just kind of steamrolled. Yeah, you had guys struggling to find the zone, but it just, one thing led to another, and next thing you know, you got a 9 up there.
Toward first should be easy. It is unassisted in a 1-2-3 inning for Batard. We've played 4, and it's 9-1 Retif Oil over the River Ridge Patriots here this evening. And Batard gets handshakes all around from his teammates for a job well done. In the bullpen, the Oilers have Zach Freelow throwing as he gets prepared to come in if needed. At some point, they probably will go to their bullpen.
You would think so.
With another game tomorrow and a Legion tournament this weekend as well. 9 months, 3 hits, no errors. 6 left for the Oilers. And it is 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left for the Patriots. Did he offer you some? Did he offer food or something there? Or what was he offering you, man, Marty?
No, he wanted to know you got some debris on your neck. He wanted to know what that was.
I know.
It's all from
the headsets. The
headset that you have worn out over the years. That's what
it's all from the errors that his teammate. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, we love the guy. We appreciate what he's done, and he did this. He always sticks around. His team's gotten beaten every time, 4 straight years in the semis, but he stuck around to watch the other semifinal game and watch the championship game because he's invested in it. He cares.
He's a baseball man.
Yep. He's a lifer.
Yep, he's a baseball man.
Lenny and I were with Jay Roth last week, and we were joking after he lost his last game in this league to blow an undefeated season and mess up all of our plans. It's time to fire him.
Very tongue-in-cheek, of course. Catcher's having a little issue getting the gear back on here. A little bit of a delay.
He's ready. And
there we go.
And then Jay followed that up by saying, he'll be here for life. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Certain people you can pretty much figure things out with what their plan is going to be. Yeah. And there are certain people you can look at and say, I'm not sure this guy will ever retire. I'd put Frank in that second group.
Well,
I think about that school. I mean, Larry Schneider for 23, 24 years. Mm-hmm. Tom Schwanner before him.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Frank Hazzo.
Well, I'll tell you what, he sure looked funny in a Hanville uniform.
Oh, you had to face that, yeah. Well, he never should have left in the first place at his alma mater. And Jay Roth did a really good thing to bring him back.
Keegan Linton.
There's Keegan Linton. That was a no hesitation, no-brainer for him, even though he'd built a really good program at Riverside Academy. Strike called.
He did.
So Linton did his state championship victory in Sulphur. Broadcast that. Martin, breaking ball fouled. It's 0-2. Mace Martin has just been rolling.
I tried to follow that up. Same idea. Bringing in some young guys. Matter of fact, where Thomas Diamond fits in over there now.
Yeah.
That's my pitching coach. They got good players. Made it to the semis this year.
Where's that? Where was that pitch?
Ooh.
It looked like it got nothing but plate. Wow. Okay. 1-2. The pitcher's throwing strikes, striking people out. Throws one like that, doesn't get a call. Holding it 1-2. And by and large, been a well umpired 2 games here. Guys have been consistent, but I might have missed one there. Martin wants to work quickly, so
that's
slow him down.
Well, it's and a ball came in from the bullpen that stopped things for a minute.
And he picked it up, put it in his bag.
Yeah, that's right. And then they wait. That doesn't belong in the bag. That's got to go back to the bullpen.
He thought they were rolling it out to him.
Off the end of the bat to stay alive. So Linton, given a reprieve, is battling here. A junior to be at John Curtis. Up and in, 2-2.
Marty, we mentioned during the first game, all 3 of us had the pleasure of being at the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Saturday night. You got a lot of coaches in that group this year.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it's 3-2.
Any favorite stories out of that? I know coaches always try to listen a little bit differently to coaches, yeah.
Well, Saban's message was fabulous, you know.
Swing and a miss. What a job. Throw to first, and he's now struck out 4 in a row and 10 in the game.
Wow.
Total dominance by Mace Martin. And now Paul Dufresne.
And he came in with 15 strikeouts in 16 innings, so he's not a guy who was all kinds of crazy numbers out there, and his night might be done.
Well, they've had Freelow in the bullpen. He's going to come on. And again, this is all about preparation, getting ready for the weekend as well. Big hand for Mace Martin.
He had a pitch count. That's what they, you know. But
Want to go out there and get one more hitter.
Some effort by Mace here. Give you the numbers in a moment as he departs in favor of the right-hander, Zach Freelo. Mace Martin, 4 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 run. 1 hit batter, no walks, and 10 strikeouts. And well on his way to being 4-0 in Summer League play.
And I hope he pitches on Saturday and not Sunday.
Now we get Zach Freelo, going to be a senior, 5'8", 160. Zach Freelo has made 1 appearance. That's it. 2 innings pitched. No record, a 3.50 run average in the summer for Freelo. He's given 2 hits in 2 innings. And 1 run.
Kenny, you can bet that he's a strike thrower. Okay? When you bring in a guy with a 9-1 game, you want a strike thrower. They're not bringing in a power guy that might throw strikes. They're bringing in a guy who throws strikes.
Well, I think they're setting up their pitching. They're thinking in terms of tomorrow now, number one, and then thinking ahead as well to the weekend of the
Now
Legion
pitching
tournament.
for Retif,
So it's a
number 6, Zach
strategic,
Freelo.
no doubt. 62 pitches were thrown by Martin.
Right
by the way.
now, that's just management. There are pitch count rules in prep. There are pitch count rules in Legion, but what happens tonight doesn't factor into all of that. So it's just this is just strategy. And again, like we mentioned, there's 21 teams in this league. Retif is the only one that's playing in the American Legion State Tournament.
Paul Dufresne grounded to the pitcher his first time. Fast strike 0-1, and I'm sure that the Patriots are happy to see a different hurler on the mound.
Yeah, but they weren't happy with that call.
Past the pitcher, base hit. Dufresne, as I said, they're very happy to see a different pitcher. Dufresne singles
Doubled their hit total.
with 1 out, and now Sean Goodrum struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Will bat.
And there's action in the pen.
Running someone down there.
Number 9.
Number 9, it's Joe Bosco. Who doubles as a pitcher. Up and in, and that ball pops out of the catcher's glove. That's a pass ball.
Yes.
Ball hit him right in the glove and didn't handle it. So, sorry, Marty, I got to give him a pass
The
ball.
batter is first baseman Sean Goodrum.
Catchers don't like that, but I'm sorry, I've got to do it. Takes away the double play possibility. Goodrum looking for that first hit of the summer. That didn't sound good. That ball hit him in the face. I
Popped
think.
up and the foul ball popped up, and I don't know if it hit the bottom of the helmet and got him in the face or just went straight up.
It sounded like it hit something solid. By the sound, you hope it got part of the helmet, not the face. He's pointing at the bill. So
Just kind of laughing at him, teasing him a little bit, so he must be okay.
Football mentality, right? Well, you can, but you don't wear a face mask.
We'll stop the bleeding later. Get in there.
1-1 the count on Goodrum.
It's always good to see when the coach and the players have that kind of rapport.
Good breaking ball. Strike called. And it's 1-2. In the dirt with a front door breaking ball. It's 2-2. 1 out. Runner second. Top 5. 9-1 Retif Oil.
If you're Goodrum, you just want to find a way to get on here so you can keep something going.
Oh, look out. Now it's full 3-2. Bosco in the bullpen.
From the time that Jeffrey Curtis got that hit to make it 1-0, am I right that Mace Martin did not allow another base runner?
No, he did not.
So traffic on the bases is something new.
And there's ball 4. So 2 have batted against this pitcher and 2 are on. And Jace Gonzalez bats. He struck out swinging in the 3rd inning.
I jinxed him too. I said he'd be a strike. There's their strike thrower, and he walks one of the 2 batters he faces.
Swing and a miss. Oh, 1. 0-2.
Now he's getting his groove going, getting fine in that zone. But we know Curtis can swing the bats. They're going to come back and get some hits here.
Wild pitch will get the runners to 2nd and 3rd. So a chance to cut into the deficit here. And a 1-2 count on Gonzalez. Hilario on deck. That's another wild one and a great block. Saves a run by Gedry. 2-2. And the catcher Gedry saying, hey, I got enough of a workout.
He's killing me back here.
Try something else. Pats him on the shoulder.
See, the turf fields have messed everything up because when I got mad at them, I used to walk out there and step on their feet. Spike them on the top of the shoe, and then they get their attention. But doesn't do you much good anymore with these turf shoes.
2-2. Taking a lot of time here. Finally, time called. I mean, that's
long.
a lot of time.
It's way too long.
In a 9-1 ball game, you've really slowed things down, and
if you're
it doesn't play well.
If he's thinking about it that long, he's not going to be able to throw where he wants it.
And a line drive caught by the second baseman. Double play. Inning over. Delat makes the catch. Ball hit extremely well, but for naught. And the inning is over on that double play. And in the inning, no runs and a hit, 1 man stranded. That's 2 left in the game. Let's take a stretch from John Ryan, where Retif Oil leads John Curtis-based River Ridge 9-1. Today's coverage of the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company at Kenner. Lamarck Lincoln is the only Lincoln Black Label dealership in the market. It's more than ownership, it's membership. There must be a reason. Thanks to Lamarck Motor Company, thanks to Gibbs Construction, thanks to Ochsner Sports Medicine for their continued support.
You know, in that situation right there, you see Jeff Curtis stop the base runner on the way off and say, you know, you got to make sure that goes through. You know, you don't mean anything.
You're still 8 runs down at that point, exactly.
But the problem was on that play was that he took too much initially, so that when it was hit, he didn't even have to move. He was going to get doubled up.
Yeah, your run doesn't mean anything there. It's 9-1.
But they're trying to get as much as they can, thinking they're going to score. And I got to be far to get so I can score in a single.
Yeah, you want to be able to score.
Yeah.
You want to hit to the outfield. Yeah.
But you know what? You're not.
And a special look when you haven't had many opportunities, you can't, you know, and you play the game aggressively. You can't fault them for thinking that way, and those things are going to happen.
Right.
You know, you play. You know, when you play the game with aggression, sometimes it's going to work for you. Sometimes it's going to backfire on you.
Right. And we were talking. You talked about the hitter, the first baseman. He didn't have a. He was still looking for his first hit. I'm going to guess he hadn't been running a lot of bases all summer either.
Griffin Jondron, top of the order, bats. 3-run triple, hit by pitch, scored a run, 1 for 2. He ropes this one to center, hit pretty well, but it's going to be caught. 1 pitch, 1 out. Hilario handles that. The batter is Michael Brothers. He's been hit by a pitch, scored a run, walked, scored a run, and struck out.
You know, there's an example of why this game's so hard. He crushed that ball. That center fielder ran that down easy.
Michael Brothers.
That's a very easy play.
And then he hit a blooper to right center, and he got a triple.
And it's baseball. End of the bat. Foul ball, 0-1. One and one, bounce. We've seen a whole bunch of those kind of pitches in this game.
Looks like Curtis has made a few changes. This is a new catcher.
1-1 the count. It's Conrad Abear behind the plate. Swing and a miss. Took something off. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Stay with that pitch, and it worked well and struck him out. 2 gone. Well, you got to give a lot of credit to Caden Batard. He's come in and shut the door. He's given up nothing here since coming into the second inning.
Designated hitter, Joe
Bosco has a base hit, RBI, slide to center, and grounded out. And this will be an easy inning. Gobbled up by Gonzalez, and a 1-2-3 frame for Batard, who's now set down 7 in a row. Let's go to the 6th inning. It's still 9-1 Retif Oil over River Ridge. And
He really has.
Freelo will go back to the mound for the Oilers.
I mean, we're looking at Jesuit with 3 hits, in the game,
One since the first inning.
One since the first inning. That's right.
Remember, you go back to the first inning and look at it. At all the walks, all the hit batters, that drop third strike with the bases loaded that ended up allowing the first run of the inning to score. It's just, And then, of course, the backbreaker was that fly ball that got lost in the twilight out there that turned into a 3-run triple. If they see that ball gets caught, it's 4-1, and you're playing this game a lot differently now, certainly.
And Curtis can now steal bases and do the things that they do.
Yeah.
At 9-1.
Right.
Look,
but even then, at 9-1, they didn't get a base runner till the last inning. Right. So you it's the old saying, you can't steal first base, right?
Yeah. And 9-1, you take the coach right out the game.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
And the aggressiveness and the things he likes to do, and it's hard. It's hard when you give up that many early. You just can't.
Yeah.
Because they're not overmatched.
Right.
By the Retif team, they just got behind the 8 ball.
Mm-hmm.
Center fielder, Nate Alario.
Nate Alario leads it off. Took it up and in, ball 1. And it's 1-1. Alario, leadoff man, has been hit by a pitch, stole a base, scored a run, and he struck out. Two and one.
And they're trying to be patient now, trying to find some base runners and hopefully find a ball in the gap that can get them some runs and work their way back into this. Obviously, they're running out of outs, but there's still hope.
2-2.
But you got to find your way to first.
Oh my. got away from him a little bit. And it's 3-2.
Just a little bit high. Get a full count.
3-2 the count. Step down. Ball 4. So another free base runner. Hilario with speed is aboard. Mishu will bat. He struck out, lined out.
Shortstop, Connor Mishu.
Here's Mishu. Southeastern Louisiana commit. Took a strike.
His daddy was a Nichols colonel.
You know what I wonder, though, because Mishu committed to Southeastern 3 years ago.
Throw to first, runner back. Yeah.
Was
Bobby wasn't
Coach
there yet.
Gibson on staff at that point at Southeastern when he committed? And could that, like,
Don't know.
yeah, no, I'd give him an advantage to maybe try to convince him to change his mind.
Down and out. 1-1.
You're not getting Bobby Barbier mad at me.
No.
Well, again, I know, like, when he
Yeah.
committed, Matt Reiser was the head coach.
Right.
2-1. Mishu finds shortstop. Former Curtis shortstop Reduthu played that position for Delgado this past season.
He did.
On 2-1. Foul back. And it's 2-2.
Mishu staying alive. Needs to find a way. They're going to rally back. He needs to find a way to get on first.
Breaking ball hammered, and that's a base hit.
That'll work.
First and second, nobody out. The table setters have gotten the job done here. Don't count this team out. I don't care if they've got 6 outs left. They play hard. Here comes Luke Martinez, who's grounded out, struck out. He's excelled at third base in this game.
You know, Curtis, there's two ways to look at the last 6 outs. We only got 6 outs left, or we still got 6 outs left.
Third baseman.
And they look at
Luke
Curtis always looks at it
Martinez.
as we've got 6 outs to do something.
Well, and the beauty of baseball
Can't run
is
out
there's
the
no clock.
Can't
There
run out
is
the
no clock. Right. You can't just go up and take a knee.
0-1.
Run it between the tackles. You got to get high school baseball. You got to get 21 outs.
Just missed down. 1-1.
They so want to run right now. He's just doing a one look. And they got their 2 fastest runners on. I know they want him, but you're not stealing 9-1, but boy, you want to.
Good breaking ball. And it's 1-2.
If this was a 4-1 game, they'd be going.
No doubt. Like I said, changes everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Ball and 2 strikes. There he goes. Down and out. Throw to third. He's safe at third. Backhand runner did not break. Hilario swipes his second bag of the game.
But
Remains
that's
perfect on the year.
That's just having a green light, right?
Yeah. He's got the option as long as he gets the timing right, feels he can take it. But he hangs Mishu out to dry on first. That's all right. He'll steal it on another pitch. Because he can run too. He's going to take it on this pitch. Watch.
Freelow taking a lot of time. Really slowed this game down.
Look at the lead Mishu has at first.
Yep. Not going. And a breaking ball just missed the front door. It's 3-2.
Has he called a strike three in this game? I'm just wondering.
Yeah,
Are they all
it's
swing?
been a tight play the whole time.
Right,
they've had 2 called strike threes.
2 call. Okay.
He'll take off here. You know he will. He does. And has a fly ball to right. Slicing foul into the bullpen area. Yeah, I know the plate was liberal in game 1, right? I think we all agree. But I think it's been perhaps too tight in this game. And that makes for this type of game.
It does. Certainly makes for the first type of inning.
To each his own. And you are the man in blue behind the plate, right? Call it as you see it.
Toward third, runner at third holds. Now he'll break, throw home, out to home, safe. Steal a run, throw to second. He is safe, and it's a 9-2 ball game. So an RBI for Martinez. A 5-3 put out. Hilario with speed scores. And only if you have speed do you make that play. And Hilario has speed, and he made that play.
Well, I'm surprised he didn't break on the hit. You know, they were playing back, even at the corner.
And that's going to be all for Freelow. They're going to bring in Joe Bosco here, who's been ready to close this game out, as he is capable of doing. He will come in to try to do just that. Freelow departs, having gone 1 inning officially. 2 hits and a run to this point. With a couple of walks mixed in. And now Joe Bosco. Bosco 3 appearances, 1-0. Perfect earned run average, 6 1/3 innings pitched, and no earned runs. And he's walked just 1 and struck out 5. Bosco going into his senior year, big kid, 6'2", 205.
Yeah, I coached his daddy, and he wasn't anywhere near 6'2". I wish he would have been. Good player.
Yep.
Played a little at Florida Atlantic, I believe, or Florida International, one of the two. He did something for me that I'd never seen before. He turned himself into a switch hitter in his sophomore year of high school. And he went in his backyard and hit off the tee till I went to his house one day, and he had a hole 4 inches deep on both sides of the plate from swings he had been taking in the backyard. But he was determined he wanted to be a switch hitter, and he ended up so good at it that at left-handed that he never turned around right-handed and hit his natural way anymore.
Interesting.
Now pitching, Joe Bosco.
Bosco ready to go to work against Jeffrey Curtis, who has an RBI single, and he's fanned.
Batting is the catcher, Jeffrey Curtis.
Here's Curtis.
I assume we're playing high school rules and he's re-entered.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Unless he switched positions. That's the only thing I don't know if he didn't get any word. But sure you've had a few multiple generation players along the way. Coach, what, fathers and sons?
Well, I didn't get the sons because I changed schools. But
right.
Yeah, I did have. I saw them play in other schools.
Didn't know just through summer baseball or anything like that if you had a chance to get any of those. But even so, when you see them, you know, even if you coached against the dad and then coached the son, or played against the son when you coached the dad, it's, you know.
It's fun.
Look out. Very wild pitch. Runner to third.
You know, when you're at O'Perry Walker in Algiers early, and those kids, and then their children go to Catholic schools. Like I had Mike Wilson's son at Shaw. You know, he wanted to show me that he could play, so he hit 3 homers against me in one game.
It was very kind of him. I guess he showed you.
His dad was an all-stater.
Call that a ball, too. I mean, it's a tight plate. I mean, that's inside corner. And this is going to go on for a while. 3-0 the count. I mean, you got to throw it down the middle. Like that.
There you go.
3-1.
And Curtis shakes his head.
Just ask. He'll throw it down the middle for him.
What's so hard about that?
Well, it gets into the psyche of a pitcher. When you think you have to be perfect, 3-2 now. I mean, wisely taking. You need base runners and not calling a lot of strikes. 3-2 the count. On Jeffrey Curtis. Good swing. Holding at 3-2. Struck him out swinging and chased the pitch.
Got him off balance. And he
Second
chased
out.
one off the zone.
Colston Martinez bats. He's batted twice and struck out twice swinging. Both against the starter, Mace Martin. In the dirt, 1-0.
The batter is number 21, Colston Martinez.
If Colston doesn't get a hit right here, it's going to be a day he doesn't want to remember.
Ropes it way out of play. I think we're safe with vehicles there, and it's 1-1.
I was thinking my strategy doesn't work because the people who had the 2 trucks around me, they just left after the first game.
Wait.
Oh, man.
Now, I'm out there hanging.
Straight up again that way. He's determined to find a vehicle there. 1-2. A little bit out in front, isn't he?
Yeah, if Bosco's got a change up, he'll hurt himself.
Good swing, straight back. Holding in 1-2. In the 6th, scheduled for 7. And a 9-2 lead for Retif Oil. Trying to get to the championship game to face Brother Martin-based Keys for Kids tomorrow at 6 p.m. in our championship game to be streamed live here on CrescentCitySports.com.
I'm glad y'all told the story where K's for Kids come from. I did not know that.
You didn't know?
I did not.
Okay.
Now you know.
Now you know.
Straight up, playable, infield. Second baseman, there. Snaring it. Delat, hitting over. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. And a man stranded. It's 3 left for the Patriots, bottom of the 6th coming. And it's 9-2 Retif Oil over River Ridge.
So, Ken, as we take a look back at the history of the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League, if Retif can get 3 outs, we're certain of one thing. Tomorrow night we will have the first 2-time champion in the history of the league, because we will have 2 former champions. You see Retif won the first year in 2022. Of course, Case for Kids won a year ago. Cypress Physical Therapy based at Lutcher won the title in 2023. And you see that, River Ridge Patriots, this is their 3rd time in the playoffs. They played for the title each of the first 2 years. 2 games. Yeah, they could have won both of those games. Those were 2 one-run losses and 2 excruciating one-run losses, one in extra innings, one an error on the last play of the game, as I recall. So, yeah, Jeff Curtis has had his teams right there, very competitive and getting their guys ready. And of course, they've been a very good program for a long time as well. So, but obviously, we're 3 outs away from a potential matchup of K's for Kids and Retif. Those two teams did not play in the regular season, and it'll be interesting to see.
Well, actually, K's for Kids defeated Retif. In the regular season.
You're absolutely right. They played at Brother Martin. You're absolutely right. So they have played one time. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. So, second time of the year.
Bottom of the 6th inning. Ball outside.
Batting is number 27.
This is a different batter. This will be Harrison Serio getting the at-bat for Retif Oil. Harrison Serio with his first at-bat. And he pops it foul out of play. Batting in the spot that Nelson was in.
Throwing him a bone, getting that bat.
Yep.
2 for 4 on the season.
And it's now 2-1. Yep. So a chance for Harrison. Get something done here. Swings at this one.
Yeah, it was a nice changeup right there.
Harrison,
way out in front.
Very young player. Going into his sophomore season. 2-2. Now 3-2.
Couldn't double it up. Threw it again. Here comes the fastball.
And can't locate it. So Harrison Serio's aboard with a leadoff walk, which will get Marshall Serio to the plate. He's 0 for 2, and he's been hit by a pitch.
Shortstop, Marshall Serio.
Back to the netting. It's 0-1.
Takes a good hack on the first pitch fastball.
Snap throw to first. Diving back in. Harrison Serio. Marshall Serio at the plate.
A lot of Serios out there.
A lot of Serios. Might visit a Serio this week. I don't know.
They're everywhere.
Oh, swinging bunt.
Oh, tough play.
Catcher will make the play and throws it wide. Tough chance for Conrad Hebert. And that could go either way. I mean, that might have been an infield hit. Very tough chance. Good throw, yeah, I would have gotten him, but that's a tough play. Give him a thumbs up or down, Lenny. They'll listen to you.
I don't know.
That's a hit.
They're going hit. They're going
okay
hit.
with that.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's a tough play. Again, we'll go back to ordinary effort. There's a swinging bunt out in front of the plate.
Strike call, good pitch to Gavin Palmisano.
Right fielder, Gavin Palmisano.
Struck out, scored. He's grounded out twice. 0 for 3 with a run scored. And we had that strikeout and reached on the wild pitch back in the first inning when the dam broke, as it were, for the Patriots. Pop straight up. Out of play. On the roof. The clang signifies that. It's 0-2.
This is really a nice place to watch a game from. It's a nice facility.
Hit that ball pretty well to left field. Left fielder back. Won't get there. It's up against the wall. 2 runs are going to score. He's on his way to third. He's going to slide safely with a 2-run triple. And the Oilers have taken an 11-2 lead and are 90 feet away from a victory here.
He hit that ball a ton. to make it to the base of the fence here. If that wind would have been blowing like it was when we started before the rain earlier today, he'd had himself a home run.
It's going to necessitate a pitching change. Metairie gave this team all he could, and he's going to depart here. So the Patriots will employ a fourth pitcher in this game, and that will give them an opportunity to make this change. So they'll use their fourth pitcher of the game to try to keep the game alive. Remember, another run would end this game by the mercy rule here.
They were able to get this guy in from third, walk him off, and that's a shame because Curtis has played so well since the first inning.
Jax Faubacher will be the new pitcher. So Faubacher takes over. That's 2 triples in the game for Retif Oil. This is a triples ballpark. Always has been. That ball was absolutely crushed.
Yes.
By Gavin Palmisano. Faubacher comes on. Jax with 2 appearances. He has no record with a 0 earned run average. 1 save, 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs. He struck out 5. He needs to do some great pitching to get out of this mess. Keep the game alive.
Give his team a chance to swing the bats again.
Yeah.
He has some good movement. He's a little slide armor, and that ball is definitely running away from, or in on right-handers, away from left-handers.
Derek DeLatte will try to put a bow on this one. He has walked, scored, singled, driven home a run, fly to left.
Derek DeLatte.
Infield has to come in.
Outfield needs to come in, too.
They do, and now they are. Have to be able to throw somebody out from where you're at. The outfield strike called from Faubacher. It's 0-1. Swing and a miss. So now it's 0-2.
He got a pitch he could hit right there and swung right through it. Was not happy with himself.
That's not going to get it done. Easy chance for the first baseman. Caught by Goodrum, 1 out. Austin Guidry will try to end it. Guidry has been hit by a pitch not once but twice. Driven home a run, scored a run, and he's flied to right field.
Catcher, Austin Guidry.
Guidry.
It's been a tough out today, though. Guidry has.
Foul back, 0-1. A little 3/4 arm action from Faubacher.
He's got a little movement on it. That's all he's trying to do is get it up there, get it to get off the barrel. He can get it to run in or out. Either way, he's happy.
This one runs down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Inside again, 2-1.
He was ready to take that one. Get hit for the 3rd time tonight. Broke just enough to clear him.
Up the middle, that's going to end this ball game. Austin Guidry with an RBI single wins it for Retif Oil by the score of 12-2, winning it in 6 innings by the mercy rule. Austin Guidry finishes this in great fashion. A dominant performance by the Retif Oil team from Jesuit High School.
Well, they took the opportunity given to them in the first inning and put it and stretched that inning out as best as they could with walks and hit batters and a couple hits. Put up a 9 spot in the first and then made it hold up.
right here at John
Just an
Ryan
outstanding
Stadium.
job to get this one done
Congratulations
by Retif Oil
also
here
to
this
the
evening.
River
And
Ridge Patriots
let's go down to Lenny Van
on
Gelder
an
standing by with
outstanding season
Jesuit coach
this summer.
from Retif Oil, Kenny Goodland. Lenny?
All right, thanks, Ken. Kenny, you never know what you're going to get at the ballpark, right? I'm sure when you came into this thing, you thought it was going to be a nip and tuck game all the way down to the end, and then that first inning happens, and you get 9 runs on 2 hits in every way imaginable, but a line drive hit, it seemed like.
You take them as they come. I mean, Palmisano, who comes up with the big hit at the end and has a lot of pop, actually strikes out there, and they could be out the end, and it's a hustle play. Leads to start it all off, and you never know when it's going to come. You just have to be patient in those kind of games. You're happy it happens if you're on that side of it, but sometimes those are hard games to play, especially you saw that later on. Your at-bats are a little bit sloppy at times, and we got to clean some stuff up, but we're very happy at playing another day and playing the championship.
The way you finished, I'm sure you're happy about that, being able to end it an inning early, but just some of the at-bats you had there in the last inning to be able to drive in runs and maybe get some things going a little bit offensively heading into tomorrow night as well.
Yes, absolutely. We got a little stale in the middle, but good job by him. The pitcher right there, a lot of movement, did a great job of holding us at bay in the middle innings. But like you said, coming through at the end, coming up with some clutch hits, that's what you need to do to win a championship and go beyond. So we're pleased with that.
Mace Martin was outstanding for you. Obviously it gets a little easier to get out there with an 8-run lead to be able to pitch, but he just shut it down and just didn't let anybody get on base after that first inning.
No, he did an absolutely fantastic job, and he's been great for us all summer and throughout the season as well. He's one of our senior leaders for next year. We're looking forward to everything he has to bring to the table, but for tonight, he was outstanding.
Congratulations on the win. We'll see you tomorrow night.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Ken?
All right. Thank you, Lenny. Appreciate you, Lenny, as we get set to put a wrap on this one. What a job here by the Retif Oil team. They win it by the score of 12-2. This evening, the totals of the game, it was 12 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and 7 men left on base for Retif Oil. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 3 left on base for River Ridge. Winning pitcher, Mace Martin, 4-0. He was dominant. Struck out 10 in 4 1/3 innings to get the win. The losing pitcher was Colston Martinez. He's 2-1. And the game taking 1 hour and 54 minutes to complete. And a victory tastes sweet for Retif Oil as they win it by the score of 12-2 here this afternoon, or this evening as it were, is the way things turned out with the timing of this. And Marty, just a dominant effort by a good team here.
Yeah, they were able to take that first inning and take what was given to them and add to it and put up a 9 spot. And you're going to win a lot of games when you score 9 runs in the first inning. And they were able to stretch that. Mace Martin was outstanding. I don't care what the score was. He was dominant, 10 strikeouts in 4 1/3.
Just a reminder, baseball fans,
he was
you can
everything
see
that the building
archive
was.
broadcast
And he was out,
of
he
this
looked great.
game
And they
the
play
previous
defense behind them.
semifinal
They don't beat
at
themselves.
Crescent City
They'll take the walks. They'll take the hit batters, and they get a hit
Or you can
They get a
check out
hit here and there.
the YouTube
Next thing you
channel
know, you're behind the
for
8 ball. You
Crescent
can't
City
catch up.
Sports.
Yeah, look, it was
And
easy to
Crescent
play
City
once you had an
Sports
8-run lead.
live
So
streams
visiting
are
downstairs
always
with
free
Kenny. I mean, look,
and do
the way
not
they finished the
require
game, not
a
just
subscription.
to get out an inning early, don't get me wrong, but to have some of those quality at-bats there in the last inning, that's a good carryover leading into tomorrow in what should be a whale of a final.
It should be a great game. And, it's going to come down to who's got a little bit of pitching left and key hits at key times. And, 2 outstanding teams that don't beat themselves.
No doubt about it.
Without a doubt. I mean, they're going to play each other for the second time in the summer. Retif Oil is now 12-1, and their only loss was 2. Case for kids. So rematch game of sorts, and obviously a game that we're looking forward to bringing to you. 6 p.m. start time tomorrow. Marty, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a pleasure having you, man.
Hey, I had a great time. Appreciate you letting me be a part of this. Sorry I can't be here tomorrow night to finish it up, but we're playing a ball game, so, but it's been a great prep season and summer, and guys, thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to have you.
Always a pleasure. And Jude Young will join us tomorrow night for the championship We hope you will join us then as well. So thanks for joining us. And a reminder that tomorrow night we'll have the championship game of the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League as Brother Martin-based Case for Kids takes on Jesuit-based Retif Oil. Coverage begins at 5:50 with our first pitch at 6 p.m. For Marty Luquette, Lenny Van Gilder, our entire Crescent City Sports production team, I'm Ken Trahan, reminding you that our final score here in Game 2 was Retif Oil 12 and River Ridge 2. Thanks for joining us and be a good sport, and God bless you one and all. Rounding third and heading home. So long.